Hey, it is 5:35 p.m. and I'm going to call the meeting to order. Let's quickly do a roll call. This is Brian, GC member. I'm present.
This is Andy, GC member, and I'm present.
Team
This is
member
Monique.
present.
Sorry, Rainey. Monique and regular member present.
And we got Rainey as well. Thank you very much. Agenda item number 3, Governing Council Administrative Discussion and Action Items 3.1, a recommendation to approve the agenda for the May 8th, 2025 regular meeting. I'm happy to accept a motion when ready.
This is Andy. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for the May 8th, 2025 regular meeting.
This is Rainey, I second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Andy. I approve.
This is Rainey, I approve.
Monique and I approve.
Thank you. Motion passes. Item 3.2, a recommendation to approve the minutes from the April 21st, 2025 special meeting. Again, when ready, I will accept a motion.
This is Andy. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the April 21st, 2025 special meeting.
Rainey, I second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Andy. I approve.
This is Rainey, I approve.
Monique and I approve.
And the motion passes. Item number 4, public comments. Do we have anyone online who would like to provide public comment? I am not seeing anybody. Moving on to item number 5, stakeholder reports and action items. 5.1, director's report. Lori.
It's May, which means it's a very busy time. This Friday is our spring celebration. We will have a talent show with student and staff performances. We will have a raffle. That's a fundraiser for Friends of Mountain Mahogany. We will have a potluck. In general, it's a lovely annual event at Mountain Mahogany. I encourage you guys to come if you can. We just completed state testing. That is annual ELA and math testing for students in grades 3 through 8, and science testing for students in grades 5 and 8. There are 3 sessions of science testing. There are 2 sessions of ELA testing. One includes writing composition, drafting an essay or a story, and there are 2 sessions of math testing. Jen Silver, who's our testing coordinator, truly did an excellent job organizing that. We had well over the 95% participation rate that's required by the state. I think there were only just 1 or 2 students who were not able to be present for testing. We have a lot of other events coming up in May. We have an 8th grade graduation. We have a 5th grade promotion ceremony. We have a kindergarten bridging event. Our first K-1-2 classes are going to have a picnic with families in the Bosque. I'm sure there are a lot of other events that I am forgetting. That's how the calendar gets going in May. We also will be doing our own end of year testing, so that will include iReady in reading and math for grades 3 through 8, and iStation in reading and math for grades K through 2. We also have a number screener that students will be doing, and oral reading fluency with the Dibbles, a letters spelling screener. So, just a lot of touching base at the end of the school year. We will have report cards and progress towards goals that go home to families in early June. We will also be running a summer literacy program. Right now we have 24 students signed up for that, so that's really exciting. Last year I think we had 8, so fantastic that more teachers are willing to participate, and then also we have more students and families interested. I do want to share some interesting facilities updates. So I don't want to keep us here too long, but I think this is a great venue to sort of share this information. So, gosh, maybe about 6 years ago, Mountain Mahogany worked with a a facility master planning consultant. And at the time, she suggested that we might want to renovate the portable buildings. So, kindergarten, all the buildings you see around the grassy circle, are in portables that the school originally purchased from another school district. And I think they're about 40 years old. They are well maintained. They're in good shape. They're not going to fall down. But over time, maintenance issues accumulate, aesthetic issues, accumulate. And so I started talking to an architect about, okay, well, could we renovate these portables? Put a new exterior on them, put a new interior on them. It seemed like the most cost-efficient way to upgrade the facility. You can pretty much gut the interior and renovate the buildings that way. However, the exterior, the metal exterior of the portable buildings is structural. So you can't really take it off and put a new exterior on because of the structural element, nor can you really, let's say, right, like, okay, my house, if the stucco looks bad, I just put a new layer of stucco on the house, right? You can't do that because now you're changing the weight bearing issues with the portables. So after having that consultation, I started thinking about, well, how could we possibly then replace the buildings, either with a new portable or with, traditional construction? One of the things I realized right away and thinking through that would be, well, if you take down a classroom, Mount Mahogany is already, at full capacity, you'd have to have another like spare classroom lying around while you rebuilt the existing classroom, which we do not have. So then I started thinking, well, okay, we've always had a plan to see if the radio station would be interested in selling us the property and we could expand in that direction. So I talked to a local company that works with charter schools that want to develop facilities and, explained our situation. He reached out to the radio station. At first, their message was that, no, they weren't interested in selling. They thought they were going to, improve the property. He went back to them and said, basically, well, are you sure? How much are you aware of how much the school might want the property? The way this would work, theoretically, if we could make it work, is that the school, that this company, they're called Rachel Matthew Development, would buy the radio station property, more than likely tear down the existing building, build something new, and then the school gets into a lease purchase agreement with that company, the developer. Just like we're currently in a lease purchase agreement for the property that we're on right now with David Rubin. So unknown right now, like exactly what the numbers are and whether or not this is feasible. I'm meeting with Steve from Rachel Matthew Development Monday when I get back to town in order to kind of discuss that and run some numbers. If the school does get into, let's just say everything happens, like the radio station sells, they buy, we develop the property into additional space for the school, we get into a lease purchase. How does the school pay the lease purchase? So the state has what's called lease assistance funding that we currently take advantage of for our current lease purchase agreement. We are leaving money on the table there. They will pay you they will pay like $750 a student in lease assistance or the cost of your lease assistance, whichever is lower, right? So right now the cost of our lease assistance is around, Elizabeth, 105,000 annually. Is that right? So just based on our current enrollment, we would qualify for $180,000 in lease assistance, right? So we do have, like, the state, if we were taking advantage of the max allowance of lease assistance, we would have some funding there. You can also pay your lease agreement out of your HB 33 facility funding that we get. And oh, here's Erin. I don't know off the top of my head. Maybe Elizabeth has an idea of like how much we get annually in HB 33 funding. Um, Obviously, we wouldn't want to spend all of our HB 33 money on acquiring a new property because we do use it to upgrade our existing property and we would need to continue to do that. Another option is lease capital outlay money from the state in order to help with projects. So I'm just making you guys aware that this is an aspect I'm exploring. I think it would be ultimately a really good thing for the school. Like we do experience a lot of challenges related to lack of space. So, and we could expand our enrollment if we had more space as well. Right now, our waiting list for next year is over 100 students. So, that's a ton of information. I didn't write any of it down. I do apologize. Um, but does anyone have any questions?
Lori, what time is the event tomorrow?
It is 5:30 to, hold on, let me give you exact information. It starts at 5:30. I believe it ends at 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
And regarding the exploration of the radio station property, I mean, are there hints that they might change their mind?
Yes. There are hints that they might change their mind.
Okay.
That's why we're meeting on Monday.
And I guess my last question, thanks for the update on testing. When do you think testing will wrap up?
You mean like iReady iStation?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty late into May, generally. I think teachers are starting next week. And so the bulk of it will be done, next week and the following week, but we may be chasing down a few students for makeups and stuff like that.
Okay.
One other note, the last day for K through 5 students is on May 30th. And then the middle school will be going into June. So we have, I believe it's 22 students who will be on a trek with Cottonwood Gulch. They will leave on the 31st of May and they will be back on June 4th. And then the middle school students who aren't going on the trek are participating in locally based field trips. So I'm kind of excited to see how that goes for our middle school students.
Are there any additional questions for Lori?
No questions. That's just very exciting. Hopefully it works out.
It would be very exciting, Andy. I have my fingers and my toes crossed.
Yeah, I think since I've joined, I've always been like, oh, I hope we can buy that someday.
Right?
All right. Item 5.2, teacher reports. Do we have anything from Leora?
No, she was actually dealing with a small electrical fire at her home. And so she's okay. They're okay, but they are in a hotel tonight and she's unable to be present.
Okay. Item 5.3, family council report.
We have neither family council nor student council.
Okay, thank you very much. That's 5.3 and 5.4. Item 6, Finance Committee. 6.1, summary from previous Finance Committee meeting, May 5th, 2025. Elizabeth.
Hi. So before I start, I looked at how much HB 33 money we got last year, and it was a little over 100,000. So there you go. And let me share my screen. Come on. Okay, Laura, you're going to have to let me share.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. I
You
meant to
are
send the
allowed.
request earlier. Oh, fabs. All right. All right, so I am going to start with the requests for reimbursements, and can you see the tracking document?
Yes.
BAPS. Okay, is that big enough, or I can make it a little bit bigger?
Yep.
So I just want to let you know that we have submitted lunch claims through March. The claims for April are not due until the 10th. And so Angelina will make sure she gets that in. We are also they reopened our application so that we could apply for a summer program for the summer food for the summer program, which is actually in the current year for June. And so it looks like we can't submit our claim until we close that application. So, but Angelina is on it. And then as far as other requests for reimbursements, there are a couple that we submitted in April. So there's the Idea B that we submitted. And I think there's, oh yeah, the structural literacy, which that was final billing, and they have, we just received the money back on the 1st of May. Then, let's see, it's the same page. Anything else? Oh yeah, we also put in for the 3rd quarter for the lease assistance, and they have also already paid us back. So are there any questions on where we're at for requests for reimbursements?
Elizabeth, I don't know if this is the appropriate time to ask, but for 24,190, the CSI.
Yep. Yep, it's on my list of things to do.
Okay. I'm just curious whether we feel as if the entire amount will be spent before the end of the fiscal year.
So I know Mary was moving some stuff around. We do have some things that we have spent. So you can see that we've only billed through the end of January. So there have been expenditures since then. And we are working on getting that ready to submit. So that was on Mary's list for me while she was gone, and I have one more day to do it when she gets back. So we'll see if I get it done. On my list for tomorrow. I've done pretty much everything else on my list, so fingers crossed. But yeah, no, I know, Mary's not one to want to leave money on the table. So, but that is definitely something we'll need to discuss when she gets back. How we're going to make that happen. So, because
Great.
at the end of January, we only spent 34%, but I think we've probably spent at least another 10, 15,000 since then. So I think we're on track.
Well, Brian, for
Yeah.
example, we've spent 10,000 with a consultant who hasn't yet billed us.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so we've reached out to that person's company to send us the bill so we can pay it so we can request reimbursement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit encumbered that, yeah, like Lori said, hasn't come through yet. So,
Okay. I
all
appreciate
right.
it. I'm just from
Oh.
what I'm hearing about uh, sh strings attached to carryover funds.
Right.
I think the school would benefit from
Spending now.
ending before June 30th.
Okay.
Wrapping it up.
Thank you. Yes, we appreciate that feedback. It's nice that you're getting those emails. So yay. All right. So next up is the pledge collateral report, and that's something that we bring to you every quarter, although we look at it monthly. And so this basically is from our bank reconciliation. So this is how much was in the operational account at the end of March, and this is how much was in the student activities at the end of March. So our total deposits were $1,354,461. The FDIC only insures $250,000. So that leaves over $1 million uninsured, and the bank is required to maintain collateral of at least 50%. And as you can see, the collateral they actually maintained was more than our uninsured deposits. So the collateral percent was over 100%. And then the second page in this report is what the bank sends us. Are there any questions on the pledge collateral report? Okay. Then up next is our financial statements and cash disbursements for March. And we start with our statement of financial position. And as you can see, at the end of March, we had $699,196 in operational, and overall, we had $1,316,076.80. And you can see, so this was actually, that was that lease assistance that we submitted, and they've already reimbursed us for in the 31,200. And then you can see there's some other, a lot of the 20,000s that are negative, and those are funds that were expended and submitted requests or requests are pending for reimbursement for those. Are there any questions on the statement of financial position? All right, up next, I did not mean to do that. Sorry about that. We're not that far yet. I'm going to be on page 4. All right, statement of revenue, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. And this gives you a summary of year to date, where the revenues are coming from and how we've been expending the funds. And once again, the negatives are the areas where we have spent the grants and we're waiting on reimbursement. Are there any questions on the statement of revenue, expenditures, and changes in fund balance? All right, up next is my favorite, the disbursements. And let me blow this up so you can see what we're spending the money on. I think most of the stuff was pretty standard. We had a couple field trip buses, some maintenance for the irrigation system. We had a celebration for the Science Olympiad team because they did so fabulous. Are there any questions on any of the disbursements for March?
I always enjoy, Elizabeth, that you share that it's your favorite report.
Well, that's because I've been doing accounts payable longer than anything else. So it's like I know this stuff. And I'm learning about the other stuff. But yeah. All right, on to budget to actual statements. And as you always hope to see for a quarter end report, there are no negative functions. So there's not really a whole lot to talk about for this report. So, and that's basically because any place we had any issues, we came to you guys to the bar, you approved it, and the PED approved it, and those edits were made in the accounting system, and now it looks really pretty. So, any questions on the budget to actual expenditures? All righty. Well, with that, we respectfully request that you approve the March financial statements and cash disbursements.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And that is item 6.2, a recommendation to approve financial statements and cash disbursements for the month ending March 31st, 2025. Is there a motion?
This is Andy, and I'll make a motion to approve financial statements and cash disbursements for the month ending 3/31/2025.
This is Rainey, and I will second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Andy, I approve.
This is Rainey, I approve.
This is Monique, I approve.
This is Aaron, I approve.
The motion passes. Thank you. Item 6.3, recommendation to approve temporary loans to other funds for the quarter ending March 31st, 2025.
And this report, basically, every quarter we report this to the PED and APS because they want to make sure that we have enough money in our operational fund to cover basically the grant funds until we get reimbursements. So as you can see here, and when we talked back in the financial statements, I think we had over 600,000 in operational, and this is how much we needed to cover the negatives was 122,521. dollars, we have more than enough. And if you can go through, you can see like in the 21,000, we have $6,365 in outstanding claims. And so these two are the lunch funds. The 21,000 is the USDA and the 21,100 is the state match. And then we've got over 38,000 in the 24,000 grant funds and over almost 17,000 and the 26,000 and a little over 30,000 and the 27,000s. But as you can see, and then also the lease assistance and the 31,200, but we had more than enough in operational to cover that. So, but we just need to make sure that you guys are aware and approve the temporary loans to other funds.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
This is Andy, and I will make a motion to approve temporary loans to other funds for the quarter ending 3/31/2025.
This is Rainey, I second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Andy, I approve.
Rainey, I approve.
Monique and I approve.
This is Aaron. I approve.
Thank you. Motion passes. Item 6.4, a recommendation to increase purchase order and give director permission to sign an increased contract with food vendor from $150,000 to $165,000 for the provision of student meals.
And so for this one, you guys actually gave us approval up to 150,000 at our June meeting last year. And this report up top basically shows what we have spent to date. And as you can see, we do not have very much left. This is why we did the increase bars at the last meeting, because this is what we expect our revenue to be for the year. And this is what we expect our expenses to be. So we do expect the revenue to be more than the expenses. But the state requires us, if the budget's more than we originally thought it would be, to do an increase bar. So this is basically asking permission to spend more than the 150 that you originally approved, but we do expect to get that back in revenue from claims. Any questions?
So Elizabeth, from a budget perspective, with the bars, we already have the budget to pay for this.
Yes, once the PED approves it, it's still well, I haven't checked today, but it was still pending. So, but yes, once they approve it, we will have the budget.
Okay. Is there a motion?
This is Andy, and I will make a motion to increase purchase order and give director permission to sign increased contract with food vendor from 150,000 to 165,000 for the provision of student meals.
This is Rainey, and I second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
And this is Andy, I approve.
This is Rainey, I approve.
Monique and I approve.
This is Aaron. I approve.
And the motion passes. Item 6.5, a recommendation to sign purchase order and give director permission to sign a contract with a vendor for up to $41,000 for the construction of a new climate-controlled PE storage shed.
I will talk about this. So this is something we've been doing in order to give our elective teachers places to store their supplies and equipment, and also places for them to have a little respite from the outdoors, especially during the months where it's really hot, which tends to be August, September are probably the most challenging. So we have a shed near the backfield. This would be removing that, building one that's approximately twice as big, making sure it has electricity. It would have a mini split to provide climate control. I think it would be a big upgrade on what we have currently. It also includes bringing electrical service to our outdoor classroom where Nisa teaches the gardening class. So I did get this quote before things developed with the conversations we're currently having with the radio station. There is a possibility, if that deal seems to look like it's going to happen, then that we would hold off on building this and kind of save that money and put it towards the other project. But we're in one of those situations where if I don't put it forward and get your approval, then we absolutely wouldn't be able to do it, because of the timing of needing to get GC approval and break ground. Most of our construction and campus improvement projects have to take place in the summer. So that's why I'm bringing it forward for the governing council. I'd be happy to send you guys notification if we decide to move forward or if we decide not to. I am hoping to know that in the next couple weeks.
Any questions regarding the shed? Hearing none, I'm happy to accept a motion.
This is Andy, and I will make a motion to sign purchase order and give director permission to sign a contract with vendor for up to $41,000 for the construction of a new climate-controlled PE storage shed.
Is there a second?
Oh, this is Rainey, I second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Andy, I approve.
This is Rainey, I approve.
Monique and I approve.
This is Aaron, I approve.
Motion passes. Item 6.6, next Finance Committee meeting, June 9th, 2025. Elizabeth, thank you very much. Item 7, Policy Committee, 7.1, no summary from previous Policy Committee meeting. 7.2, next Policy Committee meeting to be determined. Item number 8, Academic Excellence Committee. 8.1, no summary from Academic Excellence Committee meeting. We originally had a meeting scheduled, and then I had something come up somewhat work related. And Lori, I think we'll just wait for our next regularly scheduled meeting, which is early June, if that's okay with you.
That is fine. Then we'll have some data to look at.
Yep. Item 9, Council Development Committee. Item 9.1, review status of board member training hours and training opportunities. I haven't seen an email lately, but now that we're in May and getting close to the end of the fiscal year, we just need to make sure that we get our training requirements done if you have not done so already. 9.2, review recruitment of board members / candidates for governing council.
Hey, Brian, this is Aaron. Lori, I sent an email to that parent and I don't think I got a response back. Brian, did I CC you on that one?
You did not.
Okay. So I guess I'll try again. You didn't hear anything, Lori?
No, I
Okay.
haven't.
I'll try again.
Okay. And Aaron, just let me know if I can help in any way.
Okay, will do.
Thanks for actively recruiting, Aaron. Perhaps tomorrow night is another opportunity for all of us or any of us that will be there.
Item 10, Director Support Committee, 10.1, nothing to report. Lori and Aaron, I think we were exchanging some emails trying to find a date.
Mhm.
So if we can, let's the three of us commit to revisiting that email thread. Item 11, Audit Committee, 11.1, nothing to report. We have made it to the end of the agenda. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
This is Andy, and I will make a motion to adjourn.
This is Rainey, I will second.
Thank you. Roll call vote. This is Brian. I approve.
This is Andy, I approve.
This is Rainey, I approve.
This is Monique and I approve.
This is Aaron, I approve.
Adjourns at 6:05.